There it is, 2000. A milestone moment for a Pittsburgh icon.
Malkin dusts it off, right in front. Another chance, backhand score! It's Brian Rust with the goal. Rarefied air and a Hall of Fame career, 1,200 points for Evgeny Malkin.
2nd and 9. Pickett lines up a deep ball. Separation. Touchdown. George Pickens.
Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline and the BPTV studio. Right here in the Municipal Building. Even Smokin' Jim realized that after 12 years, this is the Bethel Park Municipal Building, police station to the right. He ducks out the back door of BPTV. It's unusual. All right, Ann Harder said, hi guys, especially your grandson. She's going to compliment him on his camera work. He's doing the camera work, Ann, on Smokin' Jim and Nick. So we'll see what happens there. And I want to thank all of you for watching us every week and the great feedback you have. Thanks for watching us on the live stream. We're honored and blessed to be able to do that. Thanks to Nick Callis. We need some subscriptions. Yeah, he's here. He's trying to be modest, but he's a megalomaniac. Look that up in the dictionary.
Funkin' Wagnalls.
Yes, I don't have my binder.
Oh.
1919.
R.I.P.
All right, but we need some subscribers to our Pittsburgh Sportsline YouTube channel. We were stuck at 150, so we need a couple boosts. If one person likes it, you'll make my night. So please help us out. For all the rest of you, we got Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin to Cranberry. Comcast 21, I left it for best for last because it's only available because of Comcast in Bethel Park. You can't watch Smokin' Jim on Steel City Sports World once a month. And we're not even sure about that with PCTV. But we'll move on from that. Thank you for all the Facebook likes.
Oh, man.
We've been hanging at 7,000 likes, so I appreciate that. And we'll keep talking sports. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. I got Smokin' Jim Frazier. Nick Callis moved in the chip seat. He's every other week. He'll be back for his last show of 2023 next week. And we got Anthony Piano. He's filling in every other week with Michael Rohde.
Yeah.
And he's in the control room with Marco. Got to mention all the guys. And let's see who we got. Paul Haley's watching. Chuck Chief McElroy's watching. Pete Kasich's watching. And anybody else that isn't showing up, thank you for watching. We're going to our great promos right now. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Strikers. I worked there for 36 years. My former union, CWA PPMWS 14842, Pittsburgh Local Mailers Union number 22, is on strike. Even though health care benefits were secured for workers by the union, Post-Gazette management cut them out without the union's approval and still expected workers to show up without any coverage. Please cancel your Post-Gazette subscriptions online or in print. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Union Strikers. Frank Fanera, owner of Olive Oil's Pizzeria and the Hillcrest Shopping Center on Route 88. Call them at 412-831-1900. Every Tuesday night, Olive Oil's Pizzeria provides the host and the amazing volunteer crew with an XL pepperoni pizza and a full steak hoagie. They are delicious. Olive Oils is proud to support Pittsburgh Sportsline and the volunteers at BPTV. Stay Joey strong. Joey Fabus died at 8 years old of brain cancer known as DIPG. Since then, the family has come together with community members to create the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit. Since being founded, they've raised over $100,000. Go to jfccf.org to learn more about DIPG, to help spread awareness, and to see how else you can support and donate towards the fight against this dreaded brain cancer. Always Be Smiling, a 501c3 designed to help children and families in need of kidney transplants. The B stands for Bennett, whose memory is embedded in this organization by his parents, Kristen and Dean. Despite the challenges he faced in his 16 and a half years of life, Bennett always had a smile on his face and spread kindness to everyone he could. Now, Always Be Smiling wants to pass on that kindness. Go to alwaysbesmiling.org to learn more and see how you can support or donate to this organization. The Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. I'm Al Levine, trustee on the board of this great organization. The BPCF focuses on raising money to provide scholarships, grants, endowments, and more. Grant requests are available online from $100 to $5,000. You can also attend fundraisers or donate. Go to bpcf.org to get more information and to stay up to date on upcoming events. The Bethel Park Community Foundation, focusing community resources, building for the future. The Bethel Park Historical Society is a 501c3 that serves Bethel Park. The Historical Society operates out of the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, located at 2600 South Park Road. Look for the red and white trolley right out front. Reginald's Coffee is inside, and I've heard it's the best coffee around. To visit this great historical venue, email historicalsocietybp@gmail.com. The Hillcrest Christian Academy yearbook team is looking to fundraise through advertising. They want to give students the ability to have full-color pages with everything they need to remember this chapter of their lives. If you're interested in supporting Hillcrest Christian Academy and capturing priceless moments and highlighting student achievement, please advertise with the yearbook team. Pricing is listed right here. Payments can be made directly to the Hillcrest Christian Academy School. For more information, send a message to their email. Alex Reed is in need of a kidney. 2 weeks after college graduation, Alex's kidneys failed. A gracious donor gave Alex 7 years of life, but now he needs another kidney. To learn more about becoming a donor for Alex, call 830-285-2140 or go to kidneysolutions.org. Zhang Taekwondo just opened a new location in the South Hills, along with its location in Wexford and its inclusion in the curriculum of Provident Charter School in Troy Hill. Zhang uses Taekwondo to teach its students confidence and self-discipline through physical fitness. Zhang is offering a 4-week special. You get a uniform and lessons for $30. If you mention the Talking Machine, Smokin' Jim, or VIP Nick, they'll give you a further discount. For more information, go to zhangtkd.com or call 724-934-9264. Thank you so much for watching our promos. We're serious about it. Officer Crawford's supposed to get his kidney transplant. Haven't heard any updates from him. Paul Haley's watching on Facebook Live in South Carolina. Glad you're back from Aruba and your wedding anniversary. Amy, hi guys. My dad is going to the heart doctor on Thursday. Prayers for you. Welcome, Anthony. Ralph Williams is watching. Nick Rohde with Peggy. They're watching from Rochester. Ralph said hello. And we're going to go to What's on Your Mind. Smoking Jim Frazier.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
It's not green.
you
can have
got
it.
to see Levine.
It was dark in my car. I pulled the
I'm
wrong
magic.
pin
I
out.
pulled out a green one out of the pizza. But, hey, Al Levine, the talking machine, I hope everybody did better than I did at the voting booth.
Disclaimer. He has a government name that is nothing like Smoking Jim. He is not registered for taxes or voting purposes. Everything he says, it's not part of what we talk or believe, and it doesn't represent BPTV, Pittsburgh Sportsline, or the Bethel Park community. So carry on.
I voted for Ralph Williams. He had 3,000 write-in votes, and he still lost. Al Levine, the talking machine. I voted for the Jackson Limitation Act, and we all know that is the bill to ban LaToya and Tito Jackson from all shows. Al Levine, the talking machine, and I lost that. I need President Trump's, recount. But Al Levine, the talking machine.
Smoking Jim, no disclaimer, but he lost again. And again.
Who?
And again.
Well,
So you don't know politics, you don't know taxes,
I can't.
and you don't know voting
I
because
know Herschel Walker.
you never vote. You don't even know what you voted for.
What are you doing?
But I tell you what, I wanted to do since it's voting season, my mid-season
It's over.
Defensive Player of the Year awardee and NFL Player of the
Hold
Year.
it. Time out. You're getting like Pat McAfee. He gave out middies awards for mid-season.
He's rich.
Smoking Jim, I said you're like him. You're not.
Okay. Well, my NFL Player of the Year midseason has to go to Myles Garrett. You know, a quarterback has won 15 out of the last 16 years the NFL Player of the Year, right? Only one to win it was a running back, Adrian Peterson, in 2012. Al Levine, the talking machine. The last time a defensive player won was in 1986 when Lawrence Taylor proved that you can play on cocaine. Al Levine, the talking machine. Myles Garrett in 2023 has 11 sacks, 4 quarterback forced fumbles, which leads the league. I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking machine, my petition for me in 2023 is to give Myles the awardee. And that's what's on my mind, Al Levine, the talking machine. Time to give it to a defensive player.
I agree.
And who's more deserving?
Oh, a couple
As long
more.
as you don't call him the N-word, he's okay.
I don't, and he never was called that. But I have one question for you. How many sacks did he have against the Steelers? Okay, next question. What's on your mind? Nick Callis.
My mind's blank now.
All right, we'll move
What?
on. We'll move on.
What? Sports, none of that. I'll reel you in a little bit with some actual sports talk. I don't know where we went with that one. Jeez, Pirates. Okay, might be given some false hope by some reports that we've gotten that say that the Pirates are indeed leading on to some legit names for the 2024 season. I'd love to see Paul Skeens pitch for the Pirates soon as possible, but development and stuff, and the Pirates ruin all the young people, so maybe we won't see that. Who knows? But I hope they actually manage it well this year and get some of their other top prospects up while still signing some guys. I have like a 2% gauge in my head that they might offer Shohei Ohtani enough money to lure him to the Pirates on a short-term deal so he can overcome whatever injuries he's had and then maybe sign that mega contract with another team in longer years. That's a long shot, again, little percent, but that's in my mind. We're asking what's on my mind, right? That's kind of been in my dreams. They might sign Shohei Ohtani to a short-term deal because he's got some arm problems, and he's not looking like the most efficient two-way player, though maybe his best years
Nick, I
were.
got to butt in.
Sure.
I always told Drew and Casey to dream big. And you've dreamed bigger than either one.
No, I gave it a 2%
No,
chance.
that's even bigger than what they did.
Right. So
Yeah.
so if you
they
need,
might have been at 5 or 10%.
if you need a little blind optimism in your head, go to my
It's
mind.
here.
And part of that might be because I've been sitting next to Smoking Jim too many times now during this show because I don't even know what I'm saying, after what he did. But, yeah, I mean, the fact that they're going after legitimate names, Carlos Santana would be great, but, like, other options that have been thrown out
singer
there
or
would
the
be fun
player?
as well. The player. The player. I like, yeah.
Because I thought we lost him.
Well, but he's a free agent this year, so we could get him.
I didn't know
sign
we
him
could
back.
get him back.
We could get him back, yeah.
I thought the singer would be better.
No, they
right now.
signed. All right.
That
let
was
us
my
know.
thought and opinion. Since we're talking nonsense today.
Well, who started that?
Jim.
Yeah, we know. But I mean, no, in all seriousness, I mean, I hope that they'll, some of these reports will be legit. I mean, I've been hearing some things in private that lead me to believe that they're going to make some bigger, more significant investments this season. So maybe you need some optimism, and you might be thinking, well, Nick, why are you talking about the Pirates?
Yes.
It's November. Well, because I got a huge Steelers take coming up in the VIP segment. So wait for that.
What a nice tease. You
Yeah.
segued right out of that interesting combo and opinion.
I don't
were
even
good.
know if I would call your comments interesting, though. I just don't know what to think anymore
No, here
about anything.
he's entertaining.
You make me rethink life. I don't. Herschel Walker voting the bad word. I'm done. That's what's on my mind.
Well, the reason he brought Herschel Walker and Trump up, we can't even talk about.
Right,
'cause
exactly.
We don't
That's-
talk politics.
yeah.
So that didn't mean a thing, but it proves he's not registered to vote. and it proves he doesn't pay taxes because taxes were due, earlier in the year. He never mentioned it then.
Fisher going to straighten me out on that.
No, he can't. Here's what I'll tell you.
He's on Thanksgiving break. He can help me.
He's not he is still in school, I guess, but he's still got a job.
Yeah, Smoking Jim. He told me he once worked for IBM. Nobody has verified that. And he said he did it for 18 years. Nobody's verified that. So we got to move on. We have A2, a.k.a. Anthony Paiano. He's back with us. He has a hat on for personal reasons.
Thank you. Oh, my God.
And we'll let you carry on. How can you follow that interesting subjects that they put out? So
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to follow that.
do your
But
best.
I like that polo, brother.
Thank you. So what's been on my mind is one of the most disappointing teams in the NFL right now has been the Buffalo Bills.
5-5.
They were predicted to be a Super Bowl contender, and as of right now, they just aren't that compared to what they were the past few years. I don't know why their offense just isn't the same. I know they've lost a few pieces, but not enough that I would think that they should be losing to the Broncos, especially
With their coach.
Yeah, and then right after the game, you look
Sorry to add in
they're
there.
kind of in limbo when they also fired. I think there was the offensive coordinator they fired right after the game. Now I understand that.
Hold it, let me interrupt you. You're on the right track. Drew and I talk about it. They had an 8th ranked offensive coordinator. 8th. The Steelers are ranked 31st with their offensive coordinator.
Maybe they should hire him. That would be a great.
That's why I'm segueing. I knew you would be quick with me.
Magic.
Way to go.
Let's try that. Maybe
Let's
help
try.
pick it in his little thing. But yeah, I don't know. The Broncos beating them was just a shock, and I was just like, man, they are not what I thought they would be. I thought they were going to be. I had the Super Bowl this year, and now I don't think they're making it past the wild card. If they make the wild card,
Hot take.
It's not over yet.
it's
so.
not over yet. But that's just been on my mind. Hope they bring it back because I do like Josh Allen. He's a really good quarterback.
I do too, but in my opinion, as Nick says, I worry about his giveaways.
Oh yeah.
Because he's very prone to that, and he can throw and run better than almost anybody out there. So I want to know what's going on up in between the ears,
For sure.
because that's what we see. Because I'm a fan of Buffalo, but not this season.
Yeah, they're.
Yeah, I lost it on there. Hey, thanks for your input.
No problem.
Wasn't sure what you'd throw at me, but we handled it well on this team. I'm going to deal with what's on my mind. It's hard. Let me take a deep breath again. Watching the Steelers has been the worst year of my life watching Steelers. And I qualify it. I saw Noel when he didn't get rid of Hall of Famers and we had losing seasons. I saw Cowher with losing seasons. Now I'm seeing this is a 17th year of Steelers potentially not having a losing season, so our standard slipped. And I wasn't surprised except for one thing. 2 touchdowns in the first half. It was unbelievable. Drew and I are watching, and they scored 2 touchdowns running and everything, and they actually had blocking. It was stunning. Then the rest of the game, I don't know about any of you, but I was afraid to get up off of my seat thinking they might do something again. I was so wrong. It was unbelievable. Then I'm watching them try to lose the game the rest of the game. And then I'm seeing stats. We're running the ball. And guess what? They're not running behind Broderick Jones. You ever see a guy that he's like a bulldozer?
Yeah, he is.
We didn't run behind him. We kept going left. And guess what? We had holes for Najee to score a touchdown. We had holes for Jaylen Warren to score a touchdown. And hold your breath. I'm stunned too. 101 yards. First 100-yard game. And who knows how long? 2 years? So we got to see some good things. But we're still, they used to call it when I was growing up, Smoking Jim. I'm not sure how old he is. But it was called SOS. Same old Steelers. And that's all it's been this season. When you talk about watching a frustrating team, I watch college teams, I watch pro teams, and I go to Drew, did you see that? And he goes, Dad, what? I go, their runner had blockers. And that's the theme. There is some improvement, so I'm not looking at an ugly win. Yes, I am. I'm looking at it badly. But we won. So another ugly win. Another very frustrating Steeler game to watch. And it's starting to remind me of a couple years ago. We had the worst 11-0 team, but they won the games that they should have lost. Well, I don't know what you're called when we're the first team in NFL history to be outgained for 8 games, now 9 games, and have a 6-3 record. So go Steelers, 6-3, 3 more games to keep Tomlin's streak alive, winning games. Can you imagine that? We're going to be known for mediocrity. All right, fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine, and Coach Tomlin got a great chance of going 0-2 the next couple of games.
Don't bet against them, my gambler friend.
But I'll tell you what, I'm not sure if you ever interviewed this guy, but he's a friend of the show, and you interviewed his wife and one of his kids. And
It's just in the way.
So, Al Levine, the talking machine.
Yes.
The fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac is Raquan, the show Kimbrough, former great boxing champion out of Aliquippa, Pennsylvania, won the U.S. National Championships as an amateur, decided to bypass the Olympics to turn pro, signed a lucrative contract with Ted Arnaud and the Mountaineers down in West Virginia. Raquan and his trainer, Tommy Yankello, another friend of the show.
I interviewed him.
They built a 21-1 record before accumulation of injuries ended Raquan's career. But I tell you what, down at Mountaineer, Al Levine, the talking machine, we had Sugar Ray Leonard used to come watch him fight. Tommy Morrison, even with the AIDS, was there watching him fight.
Did you give him a hug? Did you give him a hug?
No, but he fought a couple of times on the undercard. He was unbelievable right after he got out of jail. The Pittsburgh Kid, Paul Spatafor, Joey Porter and Casey Hampton used to come. You talking about freaks coming out at night. They used to rent the whole top floor and L. Levine the Taco Machine. I can't say what was going on up there because I'm not sure if he was married. I know he at least had one kid by then. L. Levine the Taco
You mean up there? You mean at the event?
Yeah. But anyhow, L. Levine.
I'm just trying to follow this.
This is 2004, 2005, 2006. So I know that Non-Tackling Jr. was born by then. But, hey, L. Levine the Taco Machine. But Quan, like I said, was on the verge of being the world champion when the accumulation of injuries ended his career. But in 2022, as a young man, he was inducted into the Beaver County Sports Hall of Fame. Congratulations, LeBron Kimbrough. Used to enjoy watching you fight.
You don't even know what you're saying at this point. LeBron, Javon.
Boy, I can't get all them black. Can you get all the black names? We're going to have one. I want to see you say some black names fast, brother.
Hey, Smoking Jim, you said he was inducted in 2022.
Yeah, 2022. And then
You know what year it is now?
2023.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you, Smoking Jim. We're going to VIP time in 10 seconds.
What happened? Oh, it's my turn.
We're losing it.
We're losing it. Yes, we are losing it. Let's bring it back together. Opinion.
It's up to you. You're going to tease us with Steelers.
I did tease with Steelers. It kind of plays hand in hand. Part of me wishes Chip was here tonight because I got a little bit of a story to tell that relates to some
You can save it
arguments
for next
that he and I have had over the years. So I got a call yesterday morning on the fan, and we're talking about, I'm just saying, hey, Kenny Pickett is quarterbacking the team, and the team is winning games. That's fact, okay? Does that mean Kenny Pickett's good? No. Do I let other people express their opinions? Absolutely. Especially at 5:30 in the morning, right? Like, it's not a time to get angry, and I tell everybody that. This show is the time to get angry because it's 7 at night, and you've seen Smoking, right? Just yell. This is the time to yell, not in the morning. So, right, I'm taking calls, and then this one guy calls me up. He's like, Nick, hey, you know, you're way too into baseball for this, and you're too young to understand. And I'm like, goodbye. Hang up. He was yelling at me like, you're too young to understand. Am I? Okay, well, thanks for the call. We ain't doing this early in the morning. So really, it's just more of an ageism thing that I go. Now half the panel is in my decade of age bracket here, right?
Oh, thank you.
So,
thank you. I appreciate that.
How old are you now? 23. There you go. I remember that. So there you go.
The camera people.
And yeah, some are younger than me, so this is awesome. So we're bringing young ones back in. But that's not the point. I mean, you can be older and you could have lived through all the success Pittsburgh teams have had. I talk about this all the time. And I really want to just settle this both for the age thing and for the Kenny Pickett thing because he's not necessarily a good quarterback. If you have that opinion, I'm not going to sit here and say that you're wrong. However, wizardry in the fourth quarter it's impactful. The game moves fast for him throughout the first three quarters, and then the fourth quarter comes around and he turns some magic on, and things happen. Now, they've been scoring in the first quarter ever since Matt Canada's been on the sideline, or at least in the first half. But
how do you spell coincidence?
not right now.
Okay.
But
He graduated KO.
COIN something. Anyway, but here's the point. So Kenny Pickett, he's not necessarily good. So if you comment on Facebook right now, comment on the YouTube live stream, and you say Kenny Pickett's not a good quarterback, Nick, I'm not going to sit here and say that you're wrong. Is it a fact, though, that he's winning games and Matt Canada's presence on the sideline has a correlation with them doing better on offense early? Yes. Does Kenny Pickett have some more potential as an NFL quarterback? I say yes. You might say no. This is such a tough argument, though. Like, this is one of those VIP segments. Like, a lot of times I have hard, straight opinions for you. This is one of those times where this season is so weird. It's such a strange season that the Steelers are in right now. Like, we might be saying, too, this team's not fit for the playoffs. How do you know? I'm serious about that because every other logical piece of information that's been thrown at us this season has told us, hey, they're not built to win games. Winning in the fourth quarter alone is not sustainable, and yet they have 6 wins, and as Al pointed out before, they're 3 more wins away from not losing this season, right?
Yeah, we did it.
And I'm not even going to definitively say that they could win in the playoffs. If they don't, I'll be upset because that's a goal of mine. I want them to win in the playoffs, but also, like, who knows? And that's pretty much the opinion. Who knows this season? So if you want to call in and be upset too, or you want to comment and you want to be upset, I don't know who disagrees with me. I'm not reading right now. I'm going on a rant. But, like, how can you be upset with a 6-win season? You don't know what's going to happen. Every logical thing that's happened this season, every piece of logic that you might be thinking has gone the other way. They're winning games. So who knows? And if you're going to be angry right now with everything, then that's your fault. I mean, but for the rest of the Steeler fans that are going to be excited about wins, they have a winning record right now, and they're pulling. Like, is it not fun at the end of games? Maybe it's not for some of you if you have heart problems or anything, but like the suspense at the end of games. Can they prevent the final touchdown from the other team? Can they get the ball back? Can they score as the clock expires? That's exciting. So, can we complain about 6 wins and a bunch of exciting games minus 2?
Yes.
We can, but, like, why? Who knows? All I'm saying is who knows what's going to happen. And if they lose in the playoffs again, you can come on here, comment, yell at me, call me an idiot. That's okay. But I'm just sticking to this is such a weird season. And as for the age comment, that's why I like Chip to be here, because Chip's kind of done a 180, I think. And if you're watching, Chip, love you. Great guy. But, he's kind of done a 180 because you don't think he's watching? Okay, well, anyway, I mean.
This is getting better.
Just to say it, though, I mean, like, I have a perspective, and I talk about this all the time. I have a perspective from somebody who's young. That doesn't necessarily make me naive in some ways. It could give me a more neutral perspective, though. Because my expectation. I mean, think about, too, like the quarterbacks that have won the Super Bowl in recent years. Nick Foles comes to mind. The Philadelphia Eagles fans were stunned. They were shocked. They were crying because Carson Wentz got hurt, and Nick Foles takes them to a Super Bowl. Are they complaining that they won a Super Bowl? Of course not. Could Kenny Pickett lead a Super Bowl team? It's possible. You might not think it is, but as long as they're winning games, it's possible. So don't let the young people, too, like, make you upset, or, like, don't use age as a factor. I've seen enough football. I've played enough football to understand. I'm not a big fan of that age stuff, too. Chip and I have gone back and forth. You've seen us talk, and he's been a big, like, Nick, you're too young to understand the Pirates. Well, it's not true. There's a more neutral perspective, too, I think, to somebody who can not have experienced championships like that and look at a team just based on what's going on in the current moment. Because sometimes early success can make you expect too much when you shouldn't. Again, not that the team should be winning games like they are, but the fact that they are, it's not a bad thing. 6 wins is not a bad thing. And that's the opinion. Go ahead. What's up?
I have a question.
Okay.
Thursday night at Acrisure Stadium against Pitt Panthers, can Dino Thompson catch his first touchdown pass of his college career? He's a senior. It's possible. It's possible. I know the backup receiver for Boston College is saying he's only in there because he's a Tomlin, but it's possible.
Oh, I get it.
Smoking Jim, that's nice you brought that up.
I was just wondering.
That was totally away from what Nick was talking about.
That was football.
And I only have one question for Nick. Do you think luck plays any chance in winning football games?
Yes.
Okay, that's what happened to us.
It's very difficult to get lucky over and over, though.
But I would rather be lucky than good because the lucky teams win, but we're not good.
Okay, we're lucky. Great. What did I say at first, right? You guys heard it.
I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, good. You always yell like you're disagreeing. Like Nick, but like you're agreeing and disagreeing at the same time. It's hard to gauge.
Well, that's because of the sarcasm.
Especially because he's been yelling in my left ear this whole time.
Exactly. Well, I'm trying to be middle of the road here on what I see, because I tell people life's about eye tests, and they go, "What do you mean?" I go, "When you look at something, what do you think? What do you think first? You look at Smoking Jim, it's winter out. You look at me, you think it's summer."
That's not what I see first.
Okay.
That's not what he sees first.
What do you see?
I can't. No,
I want a 13 Boston College jersey.
That's why we got.
We're not even close to out of time yet.
I know. That's what I'm looking at. Well, let me shout out to a couple people that replied. First, Amy made a comment. I like your polo shirt, A2. The Steelers secondary by Paul Haley says the Steelers secondary reminds me of the Riverhounds, a minor league soccer team, spread out and prevent defense, 10 yards away from the Packer receivers. Correct. Ty Polk, a good friend of ours, may be on the show in the future.
That's my man.
He's watching. Amy has a great question for Nick. She's not talking about age. She goes, Nick, what year did you play baseball?
Oh, I played for many years. I played from 2000.
She thought it was only 1 year because of your opinions.
2004 to 2018, yeah.
Okay. We clarified that,
I played
Amy.
baseball for a long time.
Glad I could make that specific. Okay, Pickett is winning game. Paul Haley, Pickett is winning games because the defense is saving his butt.
Perhaps, but think about this, too.
All right, here's a rebuttal.
The defense is like in the bottom. It's like 28th. Like there's a bunch of stats with like 28th, 29th, 26th
Yes.
on defense for like yards given up and like like entire game statistics, but they make 3 big plays that cause them to save many of the games. Is that logical?
Well, here's
no, but it's happening.
I provided that information when I heard on ESPN an expert was saying if you take the splash plays that Tomlin talks about with the Steelers, you take them out, we're the worst defense in the NFL.
It doesn't make sense. None of it.
Well, look at being outscored by 700 and some yards over 9 games.
Yeah, and that's something that seemed to never happen before.
It never did. So we're in charts that you never knew. One more thing, Ann Harder, drink the Steeler Kool-Aid out. And you missed the first, after the first loss. I said I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I said I was all in before the season started. I was only a third sarcastic. But after the first game, I spit up all the Kool-Aid. I don't drink it anymore. It was a terrible tasting Kool-Aid. And if you're drinking it all now, I respect you. Just swallow hard so it doesn't come back up. So we're going to move on. We got to go with a special A2 segment, right?
Oh, yeah, it's me.
Yeah, right now. We ended this.
Welcome back, everybody, with Take Two.
Hold on.
Wait.
No, we're not. There's still not.
No, you're on. Go.
Now you're on. No, but it was just showing the graphic.
Oh, you scared me. I was like,
We're good. This is live TV. Let's go.
back.
Take 2 with A2. Come on.
Oh, so
You ready?
the Steelers are interesting. Yeah, everybody knows what's going on with them. I'll talk a little bit of hockey. I haven't caught up with the Penguins that much recently because at the beginning of the year it kind of straggled off because they weren't playing the best. But
They didn't look the best either.
They did not. But recently I will talk about Yari. So he's a very interesting player because I hear a lot of people mix on him. People will say he's a terrible goaltender, and then others will say he has a lot of potential. Because recently I think he's had 3 shutout games this season, which is actually really impressive.
He's been healthy now.
Yeah, especially in this day and age of hockey, 3 shutouts is a lot. So the Penguins are in a they're sort of, Pittsburgh sports is always weird. So they're also
It's in a transition type period.
Yeah,
when you
they're
look at it.
weird because they have a lot of old players, but at the same time they have young players. Like, it's just an interesting time to be a Pens fan. I feel like they're going to make the playoffs. But at the same time, I don't know where they're going to go. It all depends on, honestly, if the players can stay healthy at the end of the day. Like how Al just said, if Yari stays healthy, okay, we have a great goaltender in net. He can be good sometimes, bad sometimes, but I think he is solid enough to be a playoff goaltender. If Sid, Malkin, Carlson all stay healthy, and Letang all stay healthy, we will have a great, and Gensel, of course.
Yes.
We will also have a great chance.
You covered the top 5.
Yes.
You
If
got
those
it,
five,
A2.
As long as they're
He's back.
We can lose 1, but as long as 4 of them stay healthy, we'll be good. But the Penguins, I just wanted to say this, I think he is good. I just don't think people should shame him too much. I've heard people say, well, we should have kept Murray. We should have blah, 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 but I think
Look what Murray's done.
Murray was terrible.
I know I heard some people at my work talking recently about Murray, and I was like, he was good for the Penguins in 2016, 2017, 2018. For those seasons, he was good. But after that, he sort of had a little slide down, so I think Yari was the better pick because he was younger.
Make eye contact with Smokin, too, because he doesn't know what in the world you're talking. He's just giggling over here.
If I was talking about Ovechkin, he would understand. But I'm not talking about Ovechkin.
All right,
Yes.
Mr. Negative.
For years, I took a lot of heat when I said maybe it was because I'm a black man talking hockey. When I said
Get the puck out of here.
when I said Yager was the best hockey player I ever seen in my life, February 18th, to retire in his jersey, only the second Penguin ever to get his jersey retired for his play on the ice. So I think that gives me a little bit of credibility, doesn't it?
Only because
I've never seen somebody that fast on the ice.
Well, what you were impressed by was his strip clubs,
True,
his fast
true,
car,
true.
and Kit Kats.
True.
So you're disqualified.
Yes.
and he was young. And do you know at 51, almost your age, he's still playing hockey.
It's unbelievable.
He's still playing.
Them
so
Russians are special.
how about
brother.
they're not putting him in the Hall of Fame, even though he would qualify for it with no problem?
How come?
so
Because he's still playing. He's still active.
They pulled out a technicality, but they didn't do it for Lemieux, Hull, and a few other players.
Did he ever play for Philly?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's when he said he was going to re-sign with Pittsburgh. Okay.
Well, you remember.
Lemieux ever get over that?
No.
Okay.
He hasn't recovered. Thank you, Smoking Jim. A2, thanks for your segment there.
Dude, great job. I
what's
love
the-
my
what's-
hockey.
What's the time check? Do we got 18 minutes left?
Yeah,
or-
18 minutes.
Okay.
Just about.
Just wanted to make sure roughly.
A lot of time.
All right, Brett Waldo, a longtime friend of mine from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's watching. Paul Haley came back. Play calling or lack of it in the fourth quarter. 3 runs and a kick, 2 predictable, no first downs, giving opponents chance to come back. Best play was Pickett scrambling for 20 yards and a first down. Canada didn't call that play. Nice analysis there. We got some facts from South Carolina. Paul Haley, 3rd Penguin jersey ever to be retired, I believe.
Well, for play on the ice, the other guy was killed in an automobile accident.
Yeah, you don't remember his name. It's a French
No,
name.
I only remember the guys that played.
Yeah, well, sometimes people tell you stuff, so the last person you talked to told you about that. So we'll cover that later on another puck story.
Are you okay?
All right, we got to go to my on location next. On location, we have Millvale Community Center, 6 o'clock, Ray Schaefer Boxing Association. We'll be filming and announcing the boxing. Me and Smoking Jim. He'll be a little more focused and rational at the boxing.
yeah.
We'll be live streaming on Pittsburgh Sportsline Facebook and Pittsburgh Sportsline YouTube. Tune in. Tickets, I think general admission's $20. Usually get a good sold-out crowd there, so we're looking forward to that. This Saturday, that's on location. Nothing else on location at this point in time. So we got an open mic for the last, I'll say, almost 16 minutes that we can just talk about it.
Motion to keep smoking quiet for 10 of those minutes.
Motion rejected.
Oh, okay.
You're out of
What
order.
did you think of Barrasso?
Barrasso was one of the greatest goaltenders with passing a puck, and he was one of the toughest guys, but he was like a Bill Knight, not a nice person. People hated him. Teammates hated him. But he gave an eloquent speech like you do at luncheons, where people are shocked when you give a speech at a luncheon complimenting a McKeesport football team. And that's how he was accepting his Hall of Fame. But he is a true Hall of Famer, just like Bill Knight was a great basketball coach, a terrible person, and they forgot to mention that anytime they talk about him.
True.
But we got to deal with the truth. You rarely do it, so I appreciate you asking that. And, the Penguins, just to get back to them, with Jari healthy, he can be very competent. With Jari in the playoffs, we don't know what he's really like. We haven't seen him. Like, we can only speculate, like Nick talking about the Steelers season. You like the wins, you don't like the wins. You don't like the football play, you like fourth quarter Kenny. Now, I go, how can you have a focus and throw passes that are right in the guy's hands and they catch it, except for Deontay, And how do you do things like that only in the fourth quarter? And when you look at his stats, I think 6 touchdown passes, 4 interceptions. This is the 9th game. What would you call a quarterback on any other team except the Steelers? Your opinion?
Less than mediocre.
Excellent. But yet we're rooting for him, and he's the next coming of a starting quarterback for 20 years. I don't really see it, and I have a theory on it since Nick likes putting out opinions. That's all I give except for the few facts. So my opinion is you've heard of players reach their peak. We've seen some college quarterbacks, even guys that won 2 Heismans. What did they do in the pro?
Good point.
I believe it took 5 years for Kenny Pickett to beat Danny Marino's record. Now, it took 5 years because of COVID. Give him credit. So I wondered, because I wasn't a big fan of us taking him, because my fear that I didn't put out there, because I didn't want to sound, being goofy, but sometimes players peak 3, 4, 5 years, and they don't achieve that peak again. Food for thought. Think about if Kenny Pickett peaked his senior year, because he was throwing the ball on a dime. He had Whipple in his corner, had to run to the sidelines. Maybe he needs to run and talk to Canada. Oh, Canada got 2 wins in a row.
It was
How
adorable.
about run?
Did you see? It was adorable looking
Run.
at them on the sidelines chatting on the bench.
Oh, yeah.
Adorable.
Yeah. It was. And I figured for $500,000 to have an adorable OC who's not fired because he's 31st in the league with offense, I go, that's pretty good.
We showed a lot of happy feet again in the way Cleveland gets after the quarterback.
You mean Myles Garrett?
Yeah.
Maybe
they got-
this time we'll get a sack.
They got a number. But I got to ask Nick
Oh,
Harry
good.
Callis a question.
Good. Okay.
He's right next to
Because
you.
everybody seems to be firing their offensive coordinator. Penn State fired their offensive coordinator. Now, Buffalo, who was the 8th ranked offense in the National
Thanks
Football
for
League,
listening. Yeah.
fired their offensive coordinator. We got the 31st offense in the league.
What are you asking,
And our,
Steve?
Negative.
What's
and
the
our offensive coordinator is still part of the team. Do you think that maybe we should fire Canada?
He loves
Buffalo?
Canada.
Why?
Buffalo's
When in the
unemployed
world
coordinator?
have I said Matt Canada should still be employed? When have I said that?
Or maybe we
Never.
should bring Jimbo Fisher in. He's already got
boy.
$75 million.
When
He
have
don't
I
need
ever
any more
mentioned
money.
Jimbo Fisher's name? When have I ever said Matt Canada should still be employed? When? Anybody?
Never.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction, and it's gonna be called the Jimbo Fisher rule. Who Texas A&M still owes him $75 million after they fired him. Look now for a lot of great former professional football players to get into college coaching and pro coaching, because the reason they never did before was because there was no money. John Wooten's biggest salary was $40,000 when he won 11 championships for UCLA.
What year
I feel like
was it?
that-
Now they're making $10 million.
I thought
$20
his
million.
name was
Belichick
Wooden.
is making $20 million a year.
I thought Wooden's name was Wooden.
Is that?
I
That
don't know
got
how
brought
you-
up in conversation the other day. What with me? What was? That's it. The best career you could find in this economy is a fired college football coach,
Yeah.
because that dude's making $75 million. Or how many other of those genius?
That's the settler's
Those other genius. Yeah, it was a
It was
buyout.
a settlement,
It was
yeah.
a
Then
buyout.
again, that black coach from Michigan State ain't making that.
But hold on, don't ignore that. But all the other genius coaches that went to college, like a Matt Nagy or an Urban Meyer, who got signed to ridiculous contracts, and then
Good names. They're all good
John
names.
Gruden's another one, right?
Emails took him down in
Yeah.
racism.
Still got paid though. Still got paid. So why not just trick everybody into thinking you're a genius, mess up in the NFL when you want to get paid real heavy, and then retire getting payments forever? I mean,
Do you agree with me that you're going to see a lot of athletes who would never get into
Disagree.
coaching before, and now the money's there? You
Disagree.
gotta get
why
in.
would they?
Disagree.
Not every profession can be executed and then taught the same way. Like you in editing, right? You're a genius editor,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
You couldn't teach anybody though, right?
That's true. That's
there you
true.
go. So that point
Well,
stands.
here, I'll give you a
But
theory.
Deion Sanders.
Remember Deion Sanders at the beginning of the year? I'm not a fan of his. and I don't suffer Schadenfreude, like reveling in other people's misery. I taught you last
Did you
show.
see his son's Rolls Royce?
Yeah.
Escalade got the boot
They
on
were
it
booted.
for not picking.
I knew
He
you'd
got a
go.
brand new.
I knew you'd
No,
go
I
to
was just
negativity.
wondering. Didn't they know that was his?
Well,
Why'd he put a boot on there?
How did the first 4 weeks? They said Dion will probably move on to the pros.
Yeah.
And he brought 86 players in, got rid of 56 players, or kept one. So how did that mean anything now? And they said how great he is using the portal. So what's happening now?
I don't think it's bad to revel in somebody's misery, though.
That's
when
Schadenfreude.
But when they're arrogant, like if you just enjoy watching people suffer, there's something wrong with you.
He does.
See, he can't keep a straight face with me. He
Well,
knows.
he missed that I taught him a word, Schadenfreude. It's German. He revels in other people's misery. He goes negative.
Smoking kind of does for no reason. If you don't like Deion Sanders, there's a reason that you shouldn't like Deion Sanders, because he is outspoken and he's very arrogant, and then he doesn't really.
Hold on,
produce.
I gotta interrupt your nonsense. Ann Harder's on fire. Michelle Briere, Mario, and Yager are the retired jerseys. Michelle Briere died in a bad car accident. Yeah. Bob Beers, longtime friend of mine and worker at the Pittsburgh Press-Post-Gazette's tuning in. Ann Harder again. Barrasso mellowed with age, only for his Hall of Fame induction speech.
Did he thank the media at all?
And no, because they hated him and he hated them also. Steelers, Paul Haley's still going on about this. Steelers had no turnovers but had 2 takeaways. They're like leading the league in takeaways. Yeah. So that and a little bit of luck, and you can be
I thought
winning.
the guy had the interception on the sideline. They overturned that one, huh?
Well, Smoking Jim, there's certain rules you got to go by. And it's just tough. Nick, how's the time check look?
We got about 6 minutes.
All right, we got 6 minutes to wrap this up. Anybody want to add, except Smoking Jim, anybody want to add something? A2, you got anything to add in here that's not nonsensical?
My brain's fried.
Okay.
I'm trying to think.
You know
Think
what?
something.
I'm starting to think now. Kyle Dubas. Let's go back to the Penguins real quick. Kyle Dubas, we all believe was a genius, and I was even into. We're all drinking Kool-Aid. I've drunk Kool-Aid from all 3 sports teams in Pittsburgh this year, all the pro teams. Kyle Dubas signing Tristan Jarry, from all the moves that he made before, you might have thought like, wow, okay, maybe this is some sort of, I say wizardry a lot, like magic. He's going to pull out some contract, and Tristan Jarry is going to automatically play better and stay healthy because he's got a 5-year security blanket on him now, and then he gets hurt again. So was the 5-year contract worth it? I'm starting to get a little bit skeptical about that.
Well, I got a question for you on that subject. What other goaltender could they have got?
Not my problem.
No, but there wasn't anybody.
Maybe Jarry, but why 5 years?
Because they were forced
He's young.
into it.
He's
Yeah,
also young.
and his age.
Okay.
We
He's
have
young.
answers on this side.
That's great, but he's young, and then again, though, he's been hurt like every single year he's been in the league, and you even said it. We don't know what in the world he's going to do when the playoffs come.
Thank you
because
for
he's never
quoting
played,
me.
because
I
he's never
respect
played
that.
a whole season. So
Yes.
why would you sign a guy long term when you know he's already got a significant injury history? I don't care how old he is.
Because they were forced into it because of collusion with other teams and how players are.
2 years?
That wasn't in the books.
1 year?
I've negotiated contracts. You can only deal what a compromise is. He wanted more. He got
5
less.
years is very significant. Like you see that in
Hold it.
baseball a lot, but
He
hockey,
wanted a longer contract like most athletes.
5 years.
They settled on 5. Do you understand compromises when you negotiate?
So you think they were hamstrung because they couldn't get anybody else?
Yes. Thank you for confirming that.
I don't.
Shout
I
out
think it's also
to
I don't
he's
buy
solid,
that theory.
though.
I don't
shout
buy
out
that.
to Mario Tempest for watching, good friend of ours. Paul Haley, John Gibson from Ducks, Baldwin High School guy. Yeah, he's good, but we couldn't have paid him for a reasonable amount. And the problem is, what alternatives did you have or see at the time? None.
See, because we always have high expectations of the Penguins, and I think I said this for the Steelers as well. Break it down,
You
start
did.
over, draft. Neither of the teams did that. The Pirates are always breaking it down and drafting and trying to develop. The Penguins and Steelers really haven't done that, and they've continued to not do that. And you had some hope, but then you're still like, I'm starting to realize now too, like maybe they should have done that. If he wouldn't have signed, I mean, there's no That's too much. I don't know. Get somebody unestablished, undrafted, draft a goalie. It kind of sounds dumb. I don't know. Start over. They didn't start over, though. Kyle Dubas, big trade to get Erik Karlsson. I mean, I'm fine with. And that
Look
kinda,
how he's playing
that kinda
defense.
Yeah, he's doing fine. He's doing good. That's what set the tone, though, and it's kind of like we're still in the middle with the Penguins. I mean, it's early in the season.
Hold it. Stay positive, young Skippy.
I'm being positive.
They got rid of.
I'm just upset that
they
he's
got rid of all the bad players with multi-million-dollar contracts and years. Dubas did great on that. Just that alone.
I still give him a good grade.
It gave us potential.
It was a good offseason.
And like A2 said, we're looking at potential.
I'm disappointed.
With a lot of people.
I'm disappointed in the Tristan Jarry situation. Now that I'll be frustrated with because we're going to bring him back late in the season. I mean, hopefully he'll recover sooner than that. But if he has more injuries, we bring him back late in the season again, and there's a giant question mark just in the goaltending situation.
Hold it.
How can we ever get past that
look
first
to
round?
your left. What does Smokin' Jim call these athletes that get hurt all the time? Mostly black.
Piece of meat.
And he calls them brittle brothers.
I wouldn't pay millions of dollars for a piece of meat, though. I guess is my. I want efficiency.
If it's a special Wagyu steak or something from Japan, you might go with it.
Millions.
Yeah, you could.
To
You gotta
digest over
taste that.
5 years.
You
No.
got to taste that, bro.
You might only do it on one.
What are you talking about? What, have you had any?
Yes.
Okay. well,
Yes. I had
See?
a burger, too.
All right, time check out of the control room. What do we got left
Minute
here?
and a half.
You
Sorry,
sure?
I'm not in the control room yet. Minute and a half.
Okay. Well, then you'll have to give me a 30-second warning.
I can do that. No
All right.
problem.
I hope we entertained you. And Ann, special congrats to our best guest host. She filled in perfectly with the facts, helped correct Smokin' Jim on numerous things, maybe too numerous, but we got that covered. And we appreciate you watching us on Pittsburgh Sportsline Facebook, Pittsburgh Sportsline YouTube. You know, I got to beg you for another like or two or subscribe. Please do that.
Still
We're
at
trying to
150.
build it up. I know we're holding steady at 150. 7,000 likes. This old guy did some good things with Pittsburgh Sportsline Facebook, but I can't live on what I've done in the past. We got to keep moving forward. We hope to have more fun again next week. And go Steelers no matter what. All these opinions don't matter. The W. We need that W. Nick, are we done yet?
Nope. 20 seconds.
Oh, man, I got to talk for 20 more seconds. Thanks to Smokin' Jim Frazier. Thanks to Nick Callis. Thanks to Anthony Piano, Johnny Mariano, Michael Mariano.
Yes!
We got the roadie team, Michael and Marco in there. Marco sold me great banned hoagies. Turkey hoagies were great. There was so much lettuce in there, I had a salad for 2 days, but it
Forgot
was
one
great.
guy.
Who?
Steve's still back there.
Steve, the MVP. Let's wind it up. Thanks, Steve, for coming in. He doesn't work here. Please stay Joey strong.